So hi everyone, we're live now. We're at the gates of hell with some amazing people who've been living here and fighting for the Beagles. They're called Camp Beagle. So you can see the pictures here. They've got some great signs. And there's a number there if there's any whistleblowers.
These are from Wales. Hang on, where's the flag from Wales?
Where's the Wales one?
These were made by people from Wales. Look. Love and support from Ceredigion.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. Fantastic. It's good to see. Free the dogs. Oh, we've got to support this Beagle camp. These animals are being tested on these dogs, and it's just vile. Go on, you tell them because you know all about it. You can explain about what's happening here.
The largest puppy factory. Only really there's puppy farms. Like, well, you're from Wales. There used to be a lot of. Now it's gone over to Ireland a lot, hasn't it? The puppy farming.
Yes.
But this is actually a puppy factory, and the beagles that are bred in here, the beagle puppies, are destined for literally a fate worse than death, to be tortured inside toxicology laboratories. They've managed to hide this site away until Camp Beagle. It's been here for 50 years breeding beagles for laboratories. And yet we've had local peoples join the camp in the past year that didn't know anything about it.
Right.
One of the reasons is now,
yeah,
as we're here, you cannot hear a thing, can you?
No, nothing at the moment.
You're right next to it. That is the gates of the place.
That's the gates of hell.
So let's walk down here. The whole thing about this industry, the whole thing about it is to hide everything. Secrecy, secrecy, secrecy. And why the secrecy? It's meant to be science.
Yeah, why is the secrecy about science?
It's not science, I'm telling you now.
There's not science at all. They're just cruel what they're doing. They're repeatedly hurting these dogs in here, and that's why these people are here.
They used for toxicity tests in tests that were dreamt up before the Queen was born in the 1920s. When the petrochemical industry started this idea that all the stuff we spread on the field, for example, all the chemicals we use, we'll test them on mice and rats and dogs, and then we'll get tick, tick, tick on the safety form and then flood the market with it. And that, how screwed up is that?
So here's some horrible pictures that is going to upset you, but unless you know the truth, we can't fight against this.
They'll deliver the poisons by inhalation.
There you go.
One of the ways. By using a gavage, a tube down the throat.
Oh, these poor
and that's
animals.
Why they have the secrecy, because it's absolutely disgusting.
Because it's so cruel. There's big cameras up there. I don't know if you can see them, everyone, but obviously there's big cameras. I know it's heartbreaking. I find this difficult as well. But
before we go in, at 11:30 today, 8 o'clock this morning, the skeleton crew, about 5 or 6 workers, 5 this morning, and they left at 11:30. There's no one on site in Britain's biggest puppy factory. There's dogs giving birth here. They breed puppies here. About all the fights that break out. There's no one. There's an army of security guards, loads of security guards with guard dogs and everything. There's not one person on site. They leave at 12.
Those dogs are all on their own in there with just security guards. There's no one there to look after them.
They never get out. They never see the sky. They never feel a drop of rain.
No.
This place was built here for 2 reasons. One, it used to back onto an army base, an RAF base, where they used to house missile systems. So this area used to be crawling with like cops and security guards and military security guards. But it was also built here for the acoustics, so they could hide it away from the people. And if you listen now, you can't hear. Sometimes they go very quiet, but even so, when we go down, we'll hear. You cannot hear a thing. You cannot hear a thing. They're in soundproof buildings. As we go down, sometimes when they are kicking off, as each yard you go down, you can just slightly pick up the sound. The phone won't pick it up.
So the beagles, the puppies are in there.
Listen now.
Listen.
Still very faint, isn't it?
I heard something then. I think I heard one. Oh, we need to support the Beagle camp. We need to get these
Here,
beagles
18
out.
months, 24/7. We've been camped outside the gate for that long now.
I can hear barking.
That shed there, it's got hundreds of dogs in it. That you're right next to it. When we go
Let me
opposite
show
the
'em.
vents, you'll hear some of the sound escaping.
I hope I don't fall over, guys, because I'm not the best in my wellies and mud. Oh, I can hear them. I'm just going to cry. So sad. In there, there's hundreds and hundreds of puppies.
And not one worker on site.
And not one worker. Can you believe that? There's no one here looking after them. So if one gets their legs trapped or one's giving birth, there's no one here. They don't care about them. They just do not care at all. We just walk into the side. Can you hear them? Can anyone hear the barking?
Probably opposite the air vent sound escape.
Oh, and then they leave you to be experimented on.
This is where I do my live streams from. When the dogs do erupt, it's like it's quite a cacophony of noise that comes out of that air vent there. We put cameras through the air vent. They've blocked it up now, and those images captured what goes on in there. And the dogs are literally swimming in their own urine and feces. And they never get out. These dogs. And this is before they go to the laboratory. They're not treated as dogs.
Oh.
That's not only an insult, isn't it? They're treated like dogs. These dogs don't even get that. They're objects. They get treated as objects, but they're not objects. You can just hear one or two at the minute. There's hundreds in that building.
In that building there's hundreds of puppies that never ever see the light of day. They just stay in there, and then the van comes, picks them up and takes them to be tested on.
And people stop and go, nah, I thought we'd stopped that years ago. No.
I'm just going to have a look at some of the things on the trees, because there's a lot of people who care about this. There's loads of people who've been fighting against this for years and years and years. This isn't a new thing, unfortunately. But I think a lot of us didn't realise that it was still going on so close to home. Oh, and they managed to get the 18 puppies out.
Yeah, I'll show you the full scale of the site in a minute.
I know, they got 18 out, but the police gave 2 back. So 2 went back into the hellhole, into that place. Oh, there's security now. They'll rot in hell.
Speak to the camera?
How can you do that? You must have no heart, no love, no kindness. There's a special place waiting for you when you go up there. Well, down, should I say. Hell's a fire for you as well.
Let's show you how big
evil. The security apparently are horrible. They just got no heart, just evil.
Imagine they hid this place away. Local people did not even know about it.
So there's the security guard there. Can you pass us some over? Have a heart.
He's actually one. He was stopping people who came out and asking him what he did when the animal rebellion.
What did you do when the animal rights people came to save the dogs? So cruel. You evil, bad people.
You hear more dogs in there. But again, hundreds of dogs in hundreds in that shed. That's a massive shed through that one. And can you see right down to the bottom hedge line there? The site goes all the way down to there. It's constant dog sheds.
Oh, is it? Oh, it breaks my heart. It's a terrible thing to do to animals. Dogs are such caring and loving, and that's what you were saying, wasn't it? The Beagles particularly, they're not aggressive.
Their nature. They're peaceful animals, you know, so when we watch them here, we see the drone footage of when they move them in the trolleys. And what the Beagle will do, they'll freeze. They do this, when they get handled, they freeze. When you put them down, they're still a bit frozen, and then a few seconds, then they'll maybe start wagging their tail and looking up.
Yeah.
But when they get handled, they freeze, and that's why they use them. How cynical is that? But fortunately for these dogs, speak to any beagle, and they've got like one of the most active brains in the universe. Their minds don't turn off. They're bred as hunting dogs originally who follow a scent. So you can imagine it breaks them being in there in that prison, and this is before they go to the lab.
Yeah, so
Well, I came here 18
this
months
isn't
ago.
even the biggest torture yet for them. I
Gets a
mean,
lot
this is
worse.
horrific, but
This is before they start
this is the beginning
putting
for
tubes down
them.
the
Of,
throat with
yeah,
chemicals in every single day.
it's
That's
this
what, see that lot dog
dog
unit.
unit, so they've got
How
dog unit
ironic is
there.
that, huh? Dog traitors, we call the dog handlers here.
Oh yeah, they look after dogs.
Because you're talking, this is a cog in a multi-billion-pound industry, not million, billion. The dogs will fight. Who's there to intervene? We got drone footage of the other day, them loading the trolleys from the van, and the dogs started fighting. Where else are they going to put that energy that they've got? They've got so much energy, Beagles.
So at the moment, just in case you've just jumped on, there is no one there looking after these dogs today. There's security and that's it. There's no one there. There's nobody looking after them, looking out for their welfare.
I wish they did it. We use that term because you think people working there have got, but yeah, there's no one cleaning, there's no one checking the feed, there's no one checking the dogs that are injured and fighting, but there is no one on site. There's security. Ask that security man. He'd tell you he's got no access to even to the buildings. He won't speak to you. The whole thing about this place is not to speak.
You're not allowed to speak, are you? You're obviously hiding something. How horrific is that? So they don't speak to people because they're told not to. They're just following orders, of course.
Yeah.
We've heard this all before. These terrible people. So we can hear the dogs. I don't know whether you can hear them. It is upsetting, and I understand a lot of people don't want to know about things like this because it's just heartbreaking. But
It's too dark. Once you
it's dark, very dark.
Once you start looking into it, it's like, you know, oh no, I can't look. But it is going on, you know, and that's how the vivisectors want it. They don't need public support for what they do. They just need ignorance of what they do.
Yes.
And then they're allowed to carry on.
That's right. They just don't want people to know about this because they know really that most people would be against this, wouldn't they? I mean,
most people would, and even
most
normal.
normal.
When you double it up with like, okay, it's nasty, of course, you know, poisoning animals slowly, which is what this is about, toxicology. There's been no certain terms about it. And then, what about it's never been challenged scientifically? That's the extraordinary thing. It's based on this assumption. But everyone knows through common sense that that assumption is wrong. That's why you have vets. And even a vet, when he treats a guinea pig, will use different medication when he treats a cat. This is bloody common sense stuff.
Yeah, of course.
You know? And that's how big the lie is. I was like, who was it? The Nazi propaganda bloke. Make the lie big enough and I'll believe it. This is
that's right. Yes, this is happening a lot.
Lie. It's okay, everyone. We've tested it. The test comes when they flood the market with the product, having no idea at all, really, what it's going to do with people. Because their bottom line is to sell product, just like a corner street drug dealer. It's that bad.
So
and because
true.
they wear suits and ties, doesn't make them into not gangsters. And if you look into the paper trail behind this company, it looks like it's a parallel of organised crime. You know, this is owned by a holding company. That's owned by another holding company. Eventually, it ends up in Denmark at some point. That's where the American multinational MBR comes into it, only in Denmark.
Please share this, everyone. Please share so that more people can find out about this. And where can they find you? Like on Facebook?
Here.
Are you on Facebook and Twitter or anything like that?
We've been trolled and hacked, and we've lost a lot of our old accounts. But the Camp Beagle or the Camp Beagle?
The Camp
not
Beagle.
Camp Beagle Supporters Limited, which is a troll group, not CBUK, not just the Camp Beagle.
The Camp Beagle.
And thecampbeagle.com if you want to go to our website.
Brilliant.
Campbeagle.co.uk is actually a fraudulent site now.
Thank you for sharing it in Edinburgh. That's it. We need to raise awareness.
Did you know a couple walked from Edinburgh to here to raise awareness.
Did
I
they?
repeat that. They
Wow.
walked from Edinburgh.
Wow, there's
Jim and
some
Jamie.
amazing people out there,
They
and that's,
walked from Edinburgh.
this is what we have to remember as well. We have to remember that there is a lot of amazing people out there that are fighting for the good. Although unfortunately there is too many bad people at the top, but we need to just keep fighting, keep raising awareness.
That's
Save our Beagles.
To keep going. That's
Save the
thing.
Beagles.
And there's the spectacular actions that happen, like the animal rebellion when they came and liberated the dogs. But a lot of the work as well is this daily grind. Keep it out in the open.
Keep it out, yeah. So
sometimes it's deafening to hear the noise of these dogs. Honestly, in that building there.
Rot in hell, young man. Rot in hell for what you've done.
You can hear one dog just at the minute.
They just come into work, they're wandering around listening to the dogs barking and probably squealing and crying. They don't care, they just come for their money, they just come for their pay packet. These dogs will leave you in a van and they'll just basically get tortured. That's what this is all about. This is just about torture.
It is. It's as simple as that.
It is. You can see that. You can see that this is, it's just so cruel. There's just no need for this to be happening, is there?
No, absolutely. But there is a need from the point of the profit margins of these massive companies that invented this system in the first place.
Absolutely. It's always follow the money.
Oh, to follow the money?
Follow the money and you'll find out that it's corrupt, corrupt, corrupt. They test on these Beagles. There's the security guard again. But there's nobody in there looking after the actual dogs. Okay, so this Beagle camp, they know exactly what's going on here.
And we try to build.
Oh, well, they know who's leaving and that the dogs are on their own.
Yeah.
They know that bit.
Yeah, if you try and find out anything to do with animal experiments, it's secrecy, secrecy, secrecy.
Okay, so there's a lot of secrets still.
See that barbed wire? That's illegal. You can't put razor wire like that on the ground. And people tell us, well, complain to the authorities. Nothing, no normal rules don't apply.
I'm not sure if you can see this barbed wire around down at the top of that.
Wildlife. People have been injured on it. And you wouldn't be allowed to get away with it anywhere else. But this is MBR. But like I said, people think it's about puppies, and it is, and we keep it about puppies. But when you start to go beyond this place and follow where the money is, you're talking about dirty fingers and dirty pies. And you're not dealing with multi-millionaires, you're talking with multi-billionaires.
Yeah.
That's how big the money is.
Criminals. So they, yeah, so this...
You know where they set up here?
What?
They had been set up previously in Italy. And in Italy, the community responded, the people came out and they did a big raid on the place, just like this, run exactly on the same lines as MBR. MBR, the company, took a prosecution against some of those people, the local community, but they did a counter prosecution. A judge got involved. He took one look at how the dogs are treated and said, this is an abomination, let's investigate what they do. The manager, the European manager of MBR, was sent to prison in Italy. The vet was sent to prison for in Italy. Something like the sawdust, they were using sawdust. Something like in a 2-year period, something like 900 puppies died from ingesting sawdust. They use sawdust here, they use reptiles, snake bedding here. So they haven't learned the lesson. But so they get imprisoned in Italy. They said they were going to leave Italy because it was too restrictive for animal research, and they came here instead. Doing exactly the same practice that they got in prison for in Italy.
So these puppies now...
People like to think of it like Union Jack thing, don't they? Britain, the nation of animal lovers.
Yes.
They'll explain this place then.
Exactly. So they're on their own now with no one looking after them. The security guards wander around because obviously they don't want anyone to steal the puppies because they don't want to save the puppies. But the puppies are on their own. When did you say that you see the staff coming back?
8 o'clock in the morning.
8 o'clock in the morning. So the puppies now are in there on their own. Hundreds of them.
People probably won't believe it. I bet they've got someone. Now, they've left someone. Someone's on site right now to deal with an emergency. There's hundreds of dogs that, remember, they breed puppies. They're dogs giving birth to that.
Yeah, so
they'll get all sorts of complications.
That's it, and they're on their own. These Beagles are in here on their own, except for the security, which can't get to them anyway.
There's nowhere to let these dogs out here on the site to allow them to play. So if the staff were here, Should we let the dogs out for an hour?
Yeah, to play.
That doesn't exist here.
Of course not. They're just cruel.
Yeah.
It's absolute cruelty. Like, couldn't you even give them a good life here? You know, I mean, if that was the case, you know, if they had any sort of heart, you'd let them play here at least and have a little bit of green space. But they're just locked in the sheds, basically. It's terrible.
So then once you come back to the road, you get to understand how they have to hide it away for all those years.
Yes. It's hidden, see.
Purpose-built buildings.
People wouldn't really know, would they? If you weren't here now, people driving past, they wouldn't know that this is going on here, that the Beagles are being experimented on. So I'm just going to show them the gates.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go over to by here. So animal research saves lives. You want to think about that when you're going for your vaccines. What they're tested on, what they're doing to these precious animals. And do they really, really need to keep doing this to animals? So this is the gates that cameraed. The camera's moving now because I'm near there. Look, the camera's moving now. They're just freaks, man. I just can't get my head around how anyone could come to work here. Look at them making out in the picture as if they're nice to the animals. Look at that. They're making out. That's the picture on the gates of hell. The gates where inside there the puppies are on their own. They never see the light of day. They're just stuck in those sheds. Then the van comes in, picks them up, takes them straight to a lab, and then they get tested on. But look at that picture. How misleading is that? They make out as if they're kind to them. Look at that. It's just disgusting. Right, I've lost him now, so I'm going to go back. So you can see all the banners and different things along the road. It's amazing. It's amazing that these people do this. And some of them, like I said, some of them live here. They just stay here because they just won't go home because they care about the animals and the dogs and the beagles. And there you are, that's exactly what this is. They camp out by the gates of hell. And I'll just show you a couple of their posters before we go. Do you want to say anything else before we go? Do you want to have a little bit more?
Anyone to come for a cup of tea? Okay, that's how the whole thing runs. It's a thing. When we first set up, we thought, right, let's not be too influenced by social media, but we can't have done it without social media,
No.
the love and support we get. But the other side of it is we're here in the real world.
Yes.
So, and there's nothing like getting a taste for it and coming down yourself and having a cup of tea.
Yeah.
We're in Cambridge, we're here 24/7. Come by and sit down and have a chat with us.
Okay. What's the postcode so people can get here easily? Do you know?
The address is hell, the devil's arsehole. PE28 2DT. PE28 2DT. But from terrible places, you can get beautiful things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From the middle of a war zone is where you get your peace access, and we're here because this place is such a nasty place.
It is. Oh gosh, we've got to get them out.
Yeah.
Come on, everyone! Now support these people. The campbeagle.com, okay? Give them some support, guys. They're camping out here for the Beagles. Here we are. Oh, look. Do you know, they've had loads of beeps while I've been here. They've definitely got support. Because who would want to test? Who would want to support torture and harm to animals? Anyway, I'm going now, but just support them, Camp Beagle. Have a great afternoon. Bye, guys.